awkward from championship weekend. J-Mac, we'll start with you. Give me something awesome you saw this weekend.
What about Jackson Smith and Jigba? I can say the catch. You'll be like, well, which one? He was all over the place in this one. One-hand catches, routing guys up, getting open. He is an unbelievable wide receiver, and that's in a game where Puka Nacua was on the other side for the L.A. Rams. Jackson Smith and Jigba, the best receiver in the NFL. Look at that catch, just one hand needed, and then when no one covers him, I guarantee you he'll be able to score a touchdown.
In the biggest of moments, he came up just huge. Graz, give me something awful that happened.
Sometimes you see a play, even if it's in the first half, and you think, yeah, that's the game right there. And this Jarrett Stidham play, inconceivable. I mean, take the sack and punt. Your punter's having a big game. I just don't do this. The Patriots had one touchdown in the game. It was a 12-yard drive as a result of this play. Jarrett Stidham, that's what you couldn't do if you wanted to lead the Broncos to the upset.
Broncos are going to kick themselves all off season for the way they gave this game away. Finally, Neek, how about an awkward moment?
Yeah, Drake Maye didn't know what to do with the trophy. He tried to steal it. I know some teams don't like touching any trophies until they get the final one. Drake Maye didn't want to give it back. So I like the fact that this guy's taking ownership, I guess, of the game that he played and the trophy that he won.
That's a funny moment. Jim Nance is like, you can take that with you. It's all good here.
Yeah, I'm done with it.
I need to talk to somebody else. Let's talk about Drake Maye. All right, his first career postseason. He's trying to accomplish something that hasn't been done in more than 20 years. You've probably heard of the last fella to do it. 2001 was the last time a quarterback won the Super Bowl in his first career postseason. That was Tom Brady with the Patriots over the Rams. With this same franchise, here he is in his second season. The Patriots are in the Super Bowl despite their, I'm going to use the term, presumptive runner-up for MVP. I think that's the way this is going to go. Maybe he'll be the MVP.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think we think he's going to be the runner-up for MVP. He had an unbelievable season. The numbers have been pedestrian in this postseason. He's thrown for 533 yards in the 3 games combined and 4 touchdowns. Hasn't made the big mistake that cost them anyway. So, Jeff, I guess the question is, what do we say about Drake Maye and this run that it feels is, again, no one is suggesting he's been carried to this point. He had a magnificent year. But through the playoffs, he hasn't done much. He hasn't needed to do much. What are we thinking about Drake Maye right now?
Yeah, I think what you just said, right? Like, don't create mistakes. I mean, we just talked about it on the awful part of the segment, and you saw Stidham make that play. Don't make the catastrophic mistake. Your defense has given up 16 points. That's the most they've given up in any playoff game. They've given up single digits. The other two, you're going to have a chance to win. And I guarantee you, whether it's Josh McDaniels, whether it's Mike Vrabel, hey, you don't got to be a hero. We have a team that's going to take us to the Super Bowl, a team that can potentially win the Super Bowl. Don't do the catastrophic. Don't make the mistake that puts us behind the 8 ball. And he's doing it. And to your point, he hasn't had monster numbers, but he made enough plays with his legs, including the touchdown, to help win this game and solidify it for him. I like the way he's playing. I think he's playing very mature, even though he doesn't have the numbers for the playoffs. But look, they're in the dance. We could say all we want the negative about him, but he's in the dance, had a great season, and he's potentially going to have a great game in the Super Bowl. We just don't know yet.
That's another great defense, Dominique, right? People will say he's done it against 3 very good. The Chargers are an excellent defense, Texans and Broncos, and this won't be any easier against Seattle.
Yeah, but one of the best defenses is on his side. They've been playing really well, but this Seattle defense, I think, is going to be even tougher with the coverage that they're going to face. I think we could certainly be somewhat critical of Drake Maye, but it doesn't matter because they won the game, and if he plays well in his final game, we'll forget all this. And I think in all great quarterbacks, their Super Bowl runs, there's normally a game that somebody else kind of lifts them up, be it the defense or a running back or someone wins the game for them. We've seen it multiple times for Drake Maye up until this point, and I think that given the season that he's had, it's fair for us to assume that the Super Bowl won't be like that, and my guess is they won't win if he plays a game like that in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Look, I mean, I've been at all 3 of these playoff games. The offense hasn't played well. I mean, that's very simple. It just hasn't played well. Has Drake Maye and has some of the receivers made big plays when they had to? Yes. Yeah. But overall, no. I mean, he's taken 15 sacks. Yeah. He has fumbled 6 times. The defense has been winning these games for them. But I think, I mean, the guys who played, correct me if I'm wrong, I think big part of the quarterback's job is, like, does your team believe in you? Yeah. And I think, like, even when he's taking sacks, even when he's fumbling the ball, the Patriots believe they have a guy that can make the play, whether it's with his legs, whether it's with his arms. or with his arm, and that can make the play to get them out of a bad spot and win them a game. And I think that's what he's established over this year.
In fact, you were telling me over breakfast this morning, J-Mac, you think that we're sleeping a little bit on what he's going to do. You think he's going to look much better on a week from Sunday.
I do, and we talked about these top 5 defenses, and Nick said it is not getting any easier with Seattle. But what's impressed me about Drake Maye and this Patriots team is they find a way to win. And Drake Maye, in crucial moments, it's a big scramble in that Chargers game right before halftime. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sunday, it was another big scramble in that game. It was a flea flicker, a pass to Mac Hollins. Those are the differences in this game. And that one, Bo Nix wasn't there for the Broncos. That's what they were missing. Yeah. The heroics from their quarterback that they didn't have. And the reason this Patriots team believes in Drake Maye is because game after game, all season long, he's made those plays to propel them. Didn't matter if he fumbled or threw an interception. For a second-year player, his ability to continue to get off the mat no matter what happens is an example for the entire team. Will Campbell hasn't played well throughout the course of these playoffs. He still showed up. He had some key blocks in that game. So I think that's what Drake Maye represents, this entire team. No one thought their defense would be playing this well in the postseason.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I think what J-Mac and Dan just said, it's the trust that's built over the season that really matters, right? It's like you know he's capable of doing these heroic things like J-Mac said or like Dan said. You understand he has done it. He's shown you what he's capable of doing. You're not overly concerned about a blizzard in the second half of this championship game, right? He made enough plays to win. I think that goes back to it. And even our run in Indianapolis with Peyton Manning and the year that we won the Super Bowl, you don't care about ups and downs. You know the guy and you trust the guy because of what he's showing you week after week leading you up to this point. It's not like a little small sample that we're trying to kind of dissect here. Do we have enough to win? Drake Maye is good enough for us to win the Super Bowl. They got full trust in him, and that's what you ride with teams going to the dance.
He also hasn't made the big mistake that cost the team the game. You showed the one that Stidham made, and obviously Stroud made several of them, and that's the difference in those games.
And just, the presence and the personality. They know he's also a guy, even at 23 years old, that doesn't start to panic when things go badly. And I think that they appreciate that about him as well.
His opposite number, also drafted 3rd overall in his draft class. That's where the similarities end as far as their career trajectories have gone. Sam Darnold has been terrific in this postseason. At the end of what has been a crazy journey to get here, he's not thrown a pick. He has a total QBR of 78.1. He had the 3 touchdowns in the NFC Championship game and a spectacular performance, one of the genuinely outstanding performances, which has led many people to ask the question, has Sam Darnold silenced his critics? Dan Graziano, what do we say to that?
You'd have to ask them. I mean, that's like to me, it's like, what were the critics saying? Were they saying Sam Darnold can never get his team to a Super Bowl? Then yes, they can't say that anymore. Yeah. Were the critics saying, well, the first 5 years of his career didn't go well, and the last couple games of last year, he melted down? Those are facts. That's all true. So I think the Sam Darnold story is less about his critics than it is about his career arc, his continued development, his determination to continue to get better in his late 20s, and the ability to thrive when the situation around him improved.
Dominique, you look skeptical.
Yeah, I mean, Dan's taking the fun out of this, man. Let Sam do a dance. Let him dunk on the critics. We can't pretend. So, yeah, you're right. The critics, what they were saying when they were saying it was accurate. But no one was going into this playoffs thinking that Sam Darnold was going to win the conference championship game against the Rams, the team that's given him so much trouble by playing incredible by throwing 3 touchdowns and having over 300 yards. He silenced some of the critics. Yeah, the critics had a lot of things to say when the second half of the season he was playing pretty terribly up into that San Francisco game where he played poorly, but then he came into the playoffs and dominated in the 49ers game and then dominated in this game. So yeah, the critics, they kind of do have to shut up, at least for one more week, because Sam Darnold balled out.
What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I agree with Neek here. I think part of it is the type of, the bus conversation, right? And we had heard all that, right, in New York and then going to 5 teams. Most people aren't riding with a quarterback that's gone through that. And what we saw last year, at the end of last year, I think it is true. He showed up. And the truth is he continued, even the comeback win they had against the Rams in the regular season, the very end of that game. He outplayed Stafford towards the end. They end up winning that, miracles aside, whatever, the two-point conversion. Yeah. But fast forward it to that championship game, he just picked up where he left off, and he absolutely torched him. Stood in there, made the throws, made the plays at the most impactful moments. Tip of the cap, man. The kid played lights out. He deserves all the flowers right now for the NFC Championship game. Now, different when you go to the Super Bowl and what the Patriots are going to show you versus what you just saw. It won't be the third time you've seen them. We can always criticize, but the kid showed up in the NFC Championship game in the biggest way and outplayed Stafford and that Rams football team. That was a remarkable effort on his part.
He's on his fifth team, and he's playing in the Super Bowl. That says all that it needs to say. And it goes back to the conversation we just had surrounding Drake Maye. When your team trusts you. We heard from Ernest Jones, the middle linebacker, when they lost to this Rams team, and he threw 4 interceptions, and he talked about how much they loved and trusted their quarterback. We saw it on Sunday, why they trusted him the way they did with his performance.
We have much more to say about Sam Darnold as this hour goes on. We're rolling today from parts all over, but we got the Mike McCarthy era in Pittsburgh officially beginning. Can he